He sits there with a quiet seriousness, but also...
I was going to say he sits there with a croissant then.
No, he sits there with... No, he's not that French, yeah. This is Reminding You Why You Love Football, a Mundial podcast. I'm Seb White, and this week I'll be your host as Owen Blackhurst takes some very well-deserved time off. Alongside me, joined by the regulars, the usuals, the ultras, features editor James Bird,
Good
and
day.
Producer Tommy Stewart.
Hi, mate.
Hi, guys. Are we excited? Are we good? Glad to be in the studio once again at Spiritland?
God, you can smell the vibes.
Yeah.
They smell good.
If you didn't know, we have a timeless archive available wherever you get your podcasts. We also have an ever-increasing back catalogue on YouTube as well, where you can watch us in glorious 4K. And please have a look and subscribe. Do the usual thing. Subscribe, comment, all that malarkey. It really does help spread the word.
We have to blur you out every now and again.
No. I think, to be fair, I'm very well behaved. I think it is. Don't get me wrong. It is checked every week.
Especially when you're wearing lazy tits t-shirts.
Lazy itis t-shirt, I would have you know, after the brilliant Happy Monday.
Just going to say parental advisory.
Yeah.
Over that.
Definitely lazy itis. Well, I get this out of the way. But we are Reminding You I Love Football, an award-winning podcast, 4.9 on Apple, 5-star on Spotify, and we are part of the Acast Creator Network, and we are very much back. Yes. This is a section, if you've not listened to it before, or if you're coming back and haven't heard about the slight change of direction, this was called Intro 2. It's now called Seb's Vaults. Sorry, Seb's Faults. I've got myself confused. It's called Seb's Faults after Seb's Vaults because we talk about all the things that are happening the week and the day that this podcast is released. And it gives us a nice chance to talk about random things, silly things. And so without further ado, I'm going to say that the day this podcast is released is also the day that two future Roman emperors were born, both called Charles and both who ended up with some very unfortunate nicknames. Charles the Bald and Charles the Fat were born 16 years apart. And Charles wasn't bald, and Charles the Fat wasn't fat. Very unfair nicknames that were given to them. But 1,200 years on, we are still referring to them that, which seems a little unfair.
Very, very harsh.
Very harsh. And on that very particular subject of being harsh, it has been said in the past that I bear a resemblance to Alan Carr, whose birthday it is this very week. And what a week it's been!
Was that an Alan Carr impression?
No, he does that a lot. I have not irrational. I have a real deep-seated love for Alan Carr. I think he's funny.
Yeah.
I think he's kind. His Desert Island Discs is one of the most sort of like heart on the table, open pieces of audio I've ever listened to. He talks about, growing up and the difficulties of growing up and him being who he is and how that then transcends into adulthood and the difficulties he's faced. He talks brilliantly about his dad, Graham Carr, who of course.
See, we do talk about football.
Yeah.
Famous Northampton and then Newcastle scout, if you didn't know. Very well respected.
He talks brilliantly about sort of going to watch him play.
Yeah.
And I always remember him chanting on Desert Island Disco, and he's fat, he's round, his feet don't touch the ground, Graham Carr, and him sort of sitting there whilst all this is going on, and he talks brilliantly about like watching a family member play and sort of hearing the good and the bad. And I just remember him saying, there's one part where he says, I was me growing up, I was different to my dad. I don't think I was ever going to be a footballer.
Yeah.
And he said that he was watching around all sort of with the families around him. And at one point, the ball was passed into his dad, Graham Carr, and Alan just went, "He's behind you."
That's very good. That's very good. Oh, that is good.
He makes me laugh.
I
love him.
I think he is A funny man, should I say?
Very good.
He's a chatty man. He's
Is he? He's a chatty man.
I believe so.
I tell you what, we are recording a podcast, so I will talk about his podcast, Life's a Beach, which is pure escapism. It's where he interviews celebrities about their favourite holidays, essentially, and what they would do for their perfect holiday. It is, obviously, he's brilliant because he's funny and he's got great rapport between whoever the celebrity guest is. But yeah,
You were trying not to say banter then, weren't you?
I was, yes.
I can see the
Don't say banter,
The
don't
cogs
say
in your
banter.
mind working.
I only.
But it's a word that's been ruined.
He's
isn't
got
it?
great banter.
Yeah, it's a word that's been ruined, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you remember there's that restaurant chain that we kept walking past when we were in central London, Soho way, called Scoff and Banter?
Oh,
I mean, just ruined. The word's ruined. Definitely recommend that. So, another Alan celebrates his birthday this week. Alan Brazil. Now, as I said, we're a podcast that accentuates the positive and joy. But so we won't go too deep in on Alan Brazil. But what I will say is I once really upset him at an Ipswich Legends charity night I was at.
What were you doing there? Why were you there?
Good question, James.
Well, I used to go to school on the outskirts of Ipswich, didn't I? So, and my friends moved
military
around.
boarding?
Military boarding school, if anyone doesn't know.
Yeah.
We'll find the episode where we talked about it originally.
Yeah.
Stupid. Used to march around in your Navy uniform and all that jazz. But made me the person I am today. Totally solid.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah. Very secure, solid. No. I did it. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, moving on. So my friends still live around that neck of the woods. So I went to an Ipswich Legends charity night and John Walk and Russell Osman were both there. And I wanted a picture with them, not necessarily because of...
How old are you?
No, this is 10, 12 years ago, something like that.
Oh, you didn't bunk off from military boarding.
Oh, sorry,
to go to an Ipswich Legends
no.
night.
This is long time post school.
Other kids
post uni.
Other kids are bunking off to go.
Post-Thailand.
Other kids are bunking off to go to a disco or a rave, and you're going. You're stacking a couple of pillows under your duvet to be able to go to the Ipswich Legends night.
You joke. Me and my mate Chris, who went to this exact night when we were at boarding school in sixth form, you were allowed to go to Ipswich at the weekend.
Yeah.
And me and him would miss our school games or fixtures, whatever we were playing for at the time, to go and watch Ipswich play when they were in the Premier League.
Just fantastic.
I want a picture with Russell Osman and John Walk.
Yeah.
And why do I want a picture with them? They played for England and Scotland. John Walk won European Cups, played for Liverpool. No. I'm not asked about that. These two were an escape to victory. So, I line these. My mate Chris lines. I said to Chris, come on, let's get a picture of them, escape to victory and all that. He's the same as me. He wants it because they're escape to victory. So we line this picture up. And I think his wife's taking the picture. And all of a sudden, Alan Brazil jumps in because he's nearby. He jumps in. And
That's no mean feat for him.
Yeah. And I say, sorry, Alan, this is a picture. This is a special picture. And he went, yeah. I've played football. I said, Alan, I know who you are. This is an escape to victory picture. And he was even redder than he's ever been. And that's saying something.
Oh my God!
He is notoriously.
He's the reddest man of all time.
The reddest man of all time.
Yeah,
for various reasons, mainly far too much wine.
Yeah.
But
Seb.
he was gutted because, as it transpires,
Seb.
he turned down escape to victory. He thought he was too good. He was too big for it almost. He thought he did.
Did he know that Rocky and Pele were in it?
He decided he didn't want to spend 4 or 5 weeks because it was filmed in Budapest, Escape to Victory, or Bucharest.
I don't sell wine over there.
Yeah.
Do we?
So he said, "Oh, sod that! I'm going to go on holiday instead." Whereas John Walk, Russell Osman, all these players went over and had the fucking time of their lives, and still are being talked about now, as well as their football achievements. Of course, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Alan Brazil wasn't a good footballer, but he wasn't in Escape to Victory.
No.
So he was furious with that. But yeah,
where would you rate Escape to Victory, by the way, in your top films?
Films. Oh, I mean, it combines my two interests, war and football. It is very much up
This
there.
is an escape to victory photo.
Yeah.
And it's the most perfect Seb White Venn diagram.
Oh, he was gutted.
Explosion.
He was gutted. So I got a picture. So I once really upset Alan Brazil, which I'm quite proud of, given what's happened since. James, what one thing in the raft of anniversaries, birthdays jumped out at you? And Well, I say jumped out at you. I saw this and said straight away, James must talk about this. He must talk about this.
Is it Darius Vassell?
Because the day this podcast is released, it's the birthday of Darius Vassell. And why are we talking about Darius Vassell, James?
I mean, we're going to... Well, I think you'd like me to talk about him arriving in Turkey.
Incredible.
I mean...
We talk about this regularly, don't we? And put the screenshot in our chats regularly.
It's his... So... Context
Yes,
with this,
context,
the brilliant
context.
context of it is that when he arrives and there's 3,000
And Karagoku.
At Karagoklu, there's 3,000 fans there to
think.
greet him at the airport, and there's flares and there's scarves and there's flags being draped around him, and there's everything. He hasn't even signed for them yet.
No, he's just going for talks.
He's going for talks. He said that I remember reading there was a great Guardian feature on, I think it was an extract from his book maybe, and he talks about that the medical that he had after the talks, and he's agreed to actually sign, and the photos of him being terrified, not terrified, but just in awe, the surprise.
Yeah,
because
completely. If you ever, it's a perfect example. In the dictionary under dumbstruck, there should be a picture of him.
He's been
at the airport in Turkey when he's just got off the plane and seen 3,000 people letting off flares inside.
And
the
it
building.
embodies.
He's been love bombed by a whole
he's been
fan base.
love-bombed. And it embodies Southern European football culture where it's hotter and it's feistier and stuff. But he talks about the medical that he has to take, and he says it's the toughest medical he's ever had for any of the clubs that he's ever signed for before. He said they were testing his hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
What for?
Testing the strength of his hair and stuff.
I lot about these things.
But yeah, I mean,
Good job I wasn't a professional footballer, Tommy.
Likewise, mate.
Yeah.
Likewise.
I obviously love.
I think that the key thing to all this is, it wasn't like he'd signed and was going there to move over. He was just going to look at the club and speak to the club and see if it was a club for him.
Did he sign for them?
He did,
Yeah, he played for 1 year.
Yeah.
How did he get on?
Played for 1 year. I think he scored some goals.
Yeah, he scored some goals. It wasn't, because I was wondering if we could do it for Adventures in Clubland, and I think we would just end up talking about the arrival. He scored some goals. He saw a goat get sacrificed on the pitch, which Les Ferdinand, I think, experienced when he was in Turkey and stuff.
He famously said...
But that was about it.
He famously said... Because, Ferdinand had it when he signed for Besiktas.
It's Besiktas, yeah.
And, Darius said that... he remembers the goat looking him straight in the eyes just before it was sacrificed.
Yeah, it's really good. What? Yeah.
I think he said something like the last thing the goat saw was me.
Yeah. Probably looking as dumbstruck and dumbfounded as he did when he got off the once a week flight to this tiny airport in the middle of Turkey. And they follow him as well, don't they? They get in the car. Honestly, we'll put the video in the description. It's one of my favourite. One of my favourite bonkers football videos.
Good player.
Yeah. You don't play for England at tournaments, and unfortunately he missed a penalty, but he kind of escaped. I think we got to the phase where England just was so used to getting knocked out on penalties that it was almost like, this is what just happens now.
Portugal.
So we're not going to scapegoat. Everyone remembers Pierce, Southgate, Batty. It's kind of like, this is what just happened.
He was also sort of in that team. Everyone was so focused on can Gerrard and Lampard and Scholes play together,
and of course Rooney
and Rooney. Like everyone was so focused on these big names that players like Vassell, who actually performed quite well, sort of go under the radar a little bit. And
Owen Hargreaves, Vassell played really well. Vassell played off the left as well quite often during that period, didn't he?
Do you know what he was really good on? Pro Evo.
Yes, I'm Football Manager.
Yeah, he was good on that. Because
I had a really good Villa team with him and. I didn't really have to sign it. I rebuilt the whole team except for the strike force, which was Vassell and Agbon Lahore. Who were just on Football Manager because of their pace.
Unplayable.
Unplayable, you could say that, James, yeah.
I mean, Tommy, looking at the list here, there's a lot of Beatles things, and I think we did some Beatles stuff last week, and we might do Beatles stuff in a few weeks. So why don't we leave the Beatles stuff?
Let's leave
otherwise
the Beatles.
We can't keep going. I mean, as good as your impressions are, and they've obviously gone down a storm.
I've never had so many messages about one thing.
Yeah.
In my life.
Well, one thing you can mention. Birthdays and dating apps aside.
Yeah.
I've never had so many messages about one thing as the John Lennon on GB News.
We are, of course, living in a post-Trafalgar Square world here, so I can say that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that won't be getting snipped out.
Oh, we can say things now.
Sort of, because the idea is that people see the Trafalgar Square one and go, get these fuckers on stage somewhere else.
That's
true. And there's a Euros coming up. But yes, we
Wembley?
Yeah, well, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Wembley. I mean, we have been invited to
Mr. Wembley, Mr. John Wembley.
Mr. Wembley, yeah.
If you're listening, sir, John Wembley, if you're listening, give us a call. We'd really like to patch things up.
Tommy, what comes? Sorry, that's the wrong word.
What jumps out at you?
Tommy, what jumps out on the list of
just
Seb's faults here? And I don't think
Seb's faults. I'm just looking through, mate, and there seems to be there's a name that really jumps out at me, and it's a Mr. Donald Trump.
Not again.
All I'm saying, he was born the year after World War II finished.
Oh.
And that's because...
So what you're saying is, you've got...
I ended the war. My birth ended the war.
Yeah.
They knew it was coming. They knew I was coming. They knew they needed
savior.
world peace for me. Yeah, the savior.
It was a great war, a big war.
It was a great war.
It comes back to
One of the biggest wars.
One of the best wars.
One of the best wars. People loved it. People love us.
Yeah.
And I was born. It was terrific.
So it goes back to what James said recently, the crossing over of generations. So we've got Hitler, and then the next year Trump.
So 1 year later.
Maybe we should just leave it at that.
Yeah.
It's also finishing off this lovely section. Cruyff turn this week in 1974 was done for the first time by a Dutch player. I don't know his name. Good banter, or rapport, should I say?
Good rapport, that. This is great.
I'll be honest,
rapport. As
as a centre-back, and as someone who has not, shall we say, got the most control and technical ability, I don't know if I've actually done it, apart from in training when my coach first showed us when I was on the Cubs team back in the day, and I don't think I've put it in effect or put it to use. Have either of you two?
Recollections? That's also my biggest memory of the Cruyff turn is being 8-9 years old and doing half-term football schools.
Yes.
And doing drills, and the coach being like, okay, so this is outside of the boot turn, this is an inside of the boot turn.
Yeah.
And then the rollover.
This is a step over, this is a rollover, and then this is a Cruyff turn, and there's a cone there,
Isn't
there's a
that
cone
mad?
there.
Right.
This is the exact same
You all
drill.
run out to it.
Yeah.
You do the Cruyff and you run back with it.
Mine was a bloke called Mike York, my PE teacher, who taught me that, who was from Wolverhampton.
Yorkie? I know Yorkie.
From Wolverhampton. But yeah, the same thing. About 10 yards, 2 cones, and you just right, Cruyff.
Yes.
And
drag back.
That great joy of first doing it, of first pulling it off.
God.
But never having the gumption or balls or thought to do it in a match. And again,
I've definitely used it in games.
You have used it. I see. I haven't.
Yeah, definitely used it in games. But I don't think I do anymore. I don't think I risk
now,
it anymore.
Especially in your Aggie league that you're in.
Aggie Thursdays. One thing I do remember though is Wolves had a Korean player called Sol Ki-hyun.
Yeah.
And he would just use it all the fucking time. It's a great effect.
Oh, well, but it worked, did it? He didn't get twigged. Interesting.
But when you watch that video, I got really obsessed with Cruyff when I went to Amsterdam the last time and bought his.
Well, that's where he's from, isn't he?
Bought his needless to say, I had the last laugh autobiography, which I somehow got through. But when you rewatch that moment, it's like when you watch Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk for the first time, and everyone just goes.
Comparison.
The breath is took out of the whole crowd. It's just like, like a moment. Like, what the fuck did I just see?
Yeah.
Rewatching that, and it's also the first Cruyff, like that first one that's filmed is the best Cruyff turn.
Yeah, exactly.
There's never been one used to such great effect as that.
There's a swivel, isn't there?
Well,
yeah, and the body is so low and in the box.
I think you might be right, but coming very close surely has to be Hal Robson-Kanu.
Oh, in the Euros.
To score the winning goal in a quarter-final?
That's a very good...
Quarter-final or semi-final?
He takes out...
Quarter-final.
It's
or second round,
He takes 3 players out with it.
We've got to watch it quickly.
Yeah, let's just watch it quick. And Hal Robson-Kanu follows Mundial.
Does he?
Yeah.
I think
been a long-term lurker of Mundial.
If you're listening...
If you're listening, Hal.
I think he's a lovely guy, Hal Robson.
Well, he's got a turmeric company and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're watching the Robson-Kanu goal again.
It doesn't seem to be there. Let's just watch
it again.
The normal
on the FIFA Puskas Award. Someone's filmed it on a
potato.
on a Motorola flip screen phone by the looks of it.
Let's do a better one.
Oh, here we are, FIFA Zone. remember, this is the Belgium golden generation, isn't it?
Yeah, very
It's
much
a long
so.
punt up
The
field,
peak of
and
it.
it's Ramsey. What a touch that is from Ramsey. That
Yeah,
gets
it's great.
forgotten. And then here we
First
go.
touch.
He's got
See ya.
Fellaini.
Oh!
It's just unbelievable.
Who's 16? So it's Fellaini.
Is it Vertonghen?
Let's see. It was
The balls, the absolute balls.
Temerity. The Temerity. Who
Who's
is
number
it?
6?
That is Meunier.
Yeah.
Oh, he's made everyone.
Nainggolan watching on. Fellaini done.
What a ball from... I tell you what doesn't get said enough. That ball from Ramsey, though.
Yeah, it's class.
And that first touch.
That first touch.
Back to goal.
He's kicked as well.
And then-
There. He could go that. Oh, see you later. It's brilliant. It's absolutely
It's
brilliant.
one... Okay. Should be the Hal Robson-Kanu turn, surely.
I think so. Let's start the campaign today.
Yes. on that.
Beautiful.
But yes, campaign starts now. The Robson-Kanu.
If you're listening, Mr. Kanu, give us a call.
Adventures in Clubland. Adventures in Clubland. This week,
Where are we going? Who are we seeing?
we are going to deepest France.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to 2011.
Right, 11.
2013.
Tick.
And we are going to Saint-Étienne. And we are going to talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Mais oui. Allez, Seb White.
Ah, boss.
So-
we are no.
Now then, we are going to go... We're going to take it back a little bit. We're not going to start straight in France. We're going to start in France, but a little bit further on. His dad, Pierre, was a Gabon international.
Exactement ça.
Yeah, and played in lower league.
Ah oui.
Played in France and not lower league. Actually, that's done him a disservice. He played league football in France. Where Pierre-Emerick starts is in Milan. And why is he in Milan, you ask? Well, he's in Milan because his dad is scout, and his two older brothers, Willie and Catalina, are also at Milan. There are 4 Aubameyangs at Milan.
Oh, my goodness.
Willie and Catalina do make appearances, albeit minimal, for Milan.
For the first two.
Yeah, but
Wow,
yeah,
really?
only like 1 or 2. It's like a handful.
Wow.
But they do play.
During what? But that's the great era.
Yeah,
about.
a decent era of AC Milan players
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
This is the peak Mundial era. You know, late
The mid 2000s.
mid late noughties. 2 European Cups around then.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pierre-Emerick does very well at youth level, very well, and wins top scorers at these various youth tournaments. And there's big hopes for him, but for whatever reason, he doesn't quite get given the chance. And a lot of people at Milan realised that was a mistake. It was a kind of a crossing between the new era of Milan, and they should have given him a chance. Even the coaches at the time, I think Filippo Galli, the famous Milan defender / coach, said we should have given him more chances, but they don't. And he ends up on various loan spells in France. Dijon, where he doesn't quite cut the mustard.
Oh, come on!
Fucking hell.
Oi, oi, oi. Game on.
Lille and Monaco, where he's not quite up to speed. Not as good. Not as good. I got giddy.
You know, in David Brent's like, trying to think of
Just
more.
trying to think. Yeah. That just came from nowhere,
desserts.
though. The other one was pre-rehearsed. That one wasn't, you know.
Yeah, you
You know
can tell.
what's pretty hard?
I'm joking. Anyway, he goes to Saint-Étienne in the second half of the 2010-2011 season.
You're 11.
It doesn't quite hit for him straight away. He only scores 2 goals in 14 games. And there is a debate, because as part of the deal when he came on loan, was whether he was going to stay for the next season. But the summer of 2011, fucking hell, that summer proves to be a pivotal summer for Pierre-Emerick. Off the pitch, he has a baby, his first son.
How old is he, Seb? Sorry.
At this stage, he's 22.
Okay, so he's still a young
Yeah,
striker,
21,
still trying
22.
to find his way.
Yes.
I can imagine he's the kind of player that at youth level absolutely tore it up.
Yeah, he did.
One of those players who tore it to shreds.
Well, he did, yeah. He won.
More skillful, more direct.
Yeah, exactly. He was rough around the edges, which we'll come on to in a minute. I think, the pace, it wasn't quite sure where his best position was, but again, we'll come on to that in a minute. Anyway, he has a son, so he realises he's got to knuckle down. He doesn't go away during that summer on holiday. He stays in Saint-Étienne, does personal training and stuff like that, and develops a real rapport with the manager at the time, Christophe Galtier, who people might remember and go, oh, he's recently managed PSG. Yes, he has. But before that, he was at Saint-Étienne for a long period of time and a really good and effective manager, and brought Saint-Étienne back to the good time with the help of this striker from Gabon. And he knuckles down and he just becomes a different player. And by Christmas, he's made such an impact the next season that they sign him permanently. And he puts that down to Galtier. He says, he's a great manager. He played with my father in the past, which helps. He's helped me to grow up a lot. And now, thanks to him, I'm a better player. It was his idea to play me out wide sometimes. At the beginning, I was quite suspicious. But then, after consulting with my father, who is my mentor, he is his mentor throughout his whole career, I convinced myself that it could be a good idea. And it was. Now I'm a more complete and mature player. I can play in the centre, I can play on the right, or the left, and I can score goals from all positions. And he does. He scores 16 that season.
Decent.
And he's so effective and so brilliant going forward that Christophe Galtier, who is one of the most, I've interviewed him, he's one of the most French people ever, and one is just imposing. He sits there with a quiet seriousness, but also...
I was going to say he sits there with a croissant then.
No, he sits there with... No, he's not. No, there were no croissants. He's not that French, yeah. Look, he's got a beret on, onions around his... garlic around his neck. Is it garlic or onions?
Sits there with a croissant.
Yeah.
Garlic.
It is garlic. It is garlic. Galtier says in that summer, he walks on water. He is like Moses. He parts the sea.
Oh.
Which is a lovely thing to say. The only thing a French manager could say.
And imagine what it sounds like in French.
In French,
really
it does,
nice,
yeah.
Rather than Somerset dialect.
Somerset, yeah, twang. I'm not going to try and do a French accent. This, shall we say, lights the blue touch paper, whatever you want to say. He is just a striker then on fire. And the next season, he scores 19 goals.
That's good.
Levert gets to the League Cup final, which they win. He assists Brando, the Brazilian striker, and he crosses it in with a lovely cross, showing that he's turned into a more complete player. He crosses it in for Brando to head home. They win the League Cup. They finish 5th, highest position since 1988.
Decent.
Watching the goals last night, I mean, again, I like to think I watch a lot of football and know a lot about football. But was I watching loads of Ligue 1 in 2012, 2013?
I wouldn't be surprised if you said yes.
Yeah.
I imagine
Potentially, I was, yeah.
Actually, I was.
Yeah.
Me and Rebecca going for a sticky patch. It was on Eurosport. They had the rights. So I'd sort of hunker down on Saturday.
Do you remember
and Sunday.
I don't know if you guys, do you guys remember Euro goals?
Yes.
Yeah.
Euro goals on Eurosport, when the rights were so
Yeah.
expensive, and you could watch Euro goals and see fucking all the goals.
Yeah. No commentary, just straight highlights. all the
Hardly
way
any
through.
commentary, and if it was, it would just be some bloke in the voiceover studio trying to sort of catch up, sort of thing. But
Not 19 channels
either way,
for different leagues.
I didn't watching this video back, his goals from that season. The variety coming in, speed, athleticism, touch, just running on, making headers look simple. There's a volley against Montpellier, right, which is a spinning back heel volley. And it's in the snow, it's with an orange ball, and it's one of the best goals. We're going to watch it, because I think this is one of the most delightful goals I've seen. It wins goal of the season that season, but it's only one of 19 he scores. Look, the snow,
Class.
the ball comes in, and obviously, from the wide angle, it doesn't look too much, but look at this. He spins in the air.
fucking hell.
And it's like...
It's a pirouette.
It's a
mid-air
It's a
pirouette.
mid-air pirouette, back-heeled volley into the goal. And it is incredible. He's got the number 7 shirt. He celebrates with... there's no doubt about it. Pierre, if you've watched him since when he played for Arsenal, Barcelona, he's now playing for Marseille. He loves a celebration. He brings joy. That's the other thing I noticed. The celebrations bring joy. He wears masks sometimes. He does all sorts of things. But a pirouette spinning back heel volley.
That looks like a cartoon goal.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like
Yeah.
something. It looks like something from a football cartoon with like superheroes and monsters playing.
Like a boot company would do if they did if they did a cartoon book, they would go, this is his action, or this is his skill.
Yeah.
It's an amazing.
It's an
goal.
amazing thing. And again, talking about his joy and flair and his excitement and love of the game. During that season, he also wears, in the warm-up before the game against Lyon, and Lyon and Saint-Étienne is the big fucking derby. Big derby, and it's got very feisty there in recent times. But he wears diamond-encrusted Nike boots worth €3,000, and they look fucking brilliant. Only for the warm-up though. But again, he has the flair, he has the excitement, and
How old is he? Sorry,
he's 24 now. He's 24 now.
Okay.
And he turns up on the chat
Legend.
shows in France, which are quite a big thing. Sport Chat, Canal Plus do.
Yeah.
And he turns up in a gold jacket. And he looks like, it's incredible what he looks like. It's brilliant. And they're all stood there. All the other people are there in black, suits and ties. And he's just an absolute...
He lives out loud.
Yeah, but he also does it on the pitch which he does. He scores. He is one of the most sought after players in Europe at the time. Newcastle go for him, offer him a load of money. He speaks to his dad.
Would it be Pards?
In 2013, have a look, 2012, 2013.
I'd like to imagine that dynamic.
Anyway, he speaks,
whoever
as he does with everything he does in football. Pierre-Emerick speaks to his dad, Pierre, and Pierre says,
Pierre Senior,
no, don't take the money. Go somewhere that you're going to be playing regularly and really well. And I think that place is Dortmund under Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
And was Pierre Senior right? Of course he was right, because he becomes the highest scoring African in the Bundesliga.
Well, I don't know, because Alan Pardew was the manager.
Well, I mean,
so I think it could have been a misstep.
Pards and Pierre-Emerick would have been...
Come and have a dance.
Come
on, Pierre.
Would have been wonderful, but...
Imagine that. And don't bring your fucking dad here again.
Yeah. Oh, no,
what's he doing here?
Yeah. Oh.
Well, actually, he's sort of my mentor, and he's very experienced footballer and also scout. Alan,
so he knows what he's doing.
So he knows what he's doing. Oh, fucking baby.
Yeah. He didn't play for Palace back in the day.
Yeah, how many FA Cup finals he fucking been in? Yeah.
But
didn't think so, mate.
It's a joyous time, and it's exactly one of the reasons why I enjoy reminding you why I love football, because it does remind me why I love football, watching back something that I didn't quite know too much about. I knew he was prolific, I knew he was good, but to watch the joy that he had back then, and he's still hugely thought of back in Saint-Étienne. There was a chance when Saint-Étienne were having some tough times. They're back in Ligue 2 at the moment, whether he might go back there, but he went to Marseille. But I think he's a player, and again, it's funny, I had this conversation with Tommy beforehand, just talking about him. I don't know why you were recency biased, but you remember the sort of way it ended at Arsenal.
Yes, yeah.
Which is daft, because he won the Golden Boot.
Yeah.
He won the Premier League Golden Boot.
Yeah.
So to say that when he left Dortmund, it didn't quite work out for him. Well, no, we won the Premier League Golden Boot, and it's like, give your head a.
He had a couple of really good seasons, and he was the Arsenal captain, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know. Again, it didn't end great, but I think he's a player that people should know even more about. I think.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think sort of from my knowledge of him as probably Dortmund onwards, he was electric at Dortmund in a sort of a peak Dortmund side. I mean, the players that he was surrounded with, the way he celebrated his goals, like to win over the fans at Dortmund. People talk about him being flashy, and people talk about him not caring and stuff like that now, if you talk about recency bias. To win over Dortmund fans, you've got to fucking go in hard, and he clearly did, because they loved him.
Yeah.
Again, Arsenal was part of a weird Arsenal side, a team sort of...
The back end of the banter years.
A lost...
Well, like Man United now.
A bit of a lost...
Or a bit before now.
A bit of a lost team, a bit of a team that wasn't necessarily in the direction that it thought it could go. And then, sort of Barcelona, and then coming back to the Premier League with Chelsea. Again, a weird Chelsea team.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's
always scored goals, though, pretty much.
I think he didn't at Chelsea. He scored like one goal at Chelsea.
Oh, fair.
But I also love watching him as someone who would love to be able to do a pirouetted back heel into goal, and may well try that tomorrow evening.
That should be the Aubameyang, shouldn't it? That skill.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Start the petition now.
Start the petition now. God, we're changing
But they can't teach that in fucking summer schools, can they?
We've got two.
How do you teach that?
We've got two petitions on the back of this. We know there's a lot going on in the world at the moment. Two petitions that we've decided to start. The Cruyff turn should be renamed to Hal Robson-Kanu.
Let's get it on the Instagram story and make it a sticker, and we can change the world, James. Yeah, I agree. This podcast changes the football world. But it's really good. I will end this, because one of the reasons I wanted to talk about Saint-Étienne, I've been trying to for a while, was my last ever feature that I made for FIFA TV, for Pitch International, was back in 2016, was at Saint-Étienne. So I interviewed Christophe Galtier, Dominique Rocheteau, who was one of the famous players from the 70s European Cup side, and the captain and local hero, Loic Perrin. And Saint-Étienne, it's a real pisser that I always tried to time it and go to the actual games, but for whatever reason it didn't work. And Saint-Étienne was just, even though there was no football on, the stadium's obviously famous. It's where Beckham got sent off. The atmosphere, they're renowned. I mean, in recent years, it's probably spilled over because they've shown their, shall we say, dissatisfaction about being relegated. It's called the Cauldron. but they've shown their dissatisfaction. I don't know if the game they get relegated, the fans just run on and chuck flares at the director's box and stuff like
Well,
that.
it looks like they're trying to set fire.
Yeah, it looks like, So the passion can spill, but there's no doubt about it. A Man United mate of mine went and said it's probably the best atmosphere away that he's seen United in when they played him in the Europa League. So it's you could tell, though, it was a one club city as well. You could tell that football meant so much. You know, I would love to go and see a game there one day.
They're a cult club. Probably because of successes 50 years ago.
Not many teams playing green
and white shirts. Sort of like the Real Betis.
Real Betis, I was going to say.
Well,
Elche, Real Betis.
Yeovil Town.
Celtic, if you're not British.
Yeah.
Sporting Lisbon.
Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah.
There is something magical about green and white teams. I don't know why. I'm always drawn to them.
I think, Real Betis, for a start, were influenced by Celtic.
Yes, they were.
Yeah. Their founder went to Scotland to watch.
And
he stayed there for ages and then came back. And their original colours weren't green and white, but then he came back and changed it to green and white hoops.
They're still sort of... what's the word? Like twin clubs, sister clubs, or whatever it is, Betis and Celtic. I remember in university, everyone would clamour to be Dortmund because of Aubameyang. He was almost like a cheat code. I'm talking like 2012, 13 maybe.
But he joined in 2013.
13, it must have been around that time.
Were you at uni then?
Back end, yeah.
Were you?
Yeah.
Christ on a bike, I'm an old bastard.
You think I'm around your age somewhere?
I do, Tommy.
God, I'm an old bastard.
Yeah. Oh, Christ.
But people come to me, it was almost like,
Enjoy it, Tommy, because when you get to my age, you sit there going, for fuck's sake.
A washed up old tart.
Yeah. 43, running around like a blue-ass fly.
Silly old slapper.
Yeah.
But it is, like how Adriano on Pro Evo was
brilliant, wasn't he? Yeah.
Just for the pace and power. Aubameyang was a similar thing, but later on. And also, sorry, just quickly, I've had a quick look over his goal stats throughout his career, and they are pretty fucking incredible,
Yeah, Dortmund, he scores a fuckload at Dortmund.
Well, Dortmund, 141 in 213 games. Arsenal, 92 in 163 games.
Did he score 92 goals for Arsenal?
Yeah, Saint-Étienne, 41 in 97. Marseille, 30 in 51. Barcelona, 13 in 24.
What was Chelsea? No,
it's not. It's 3 in 21.
Yeah,
but
Chelsea,
mainly as a sub.
Chelsea are a basket case club. And I say that as someone who goes and has got a season ticket for the women's team.
Yeah.
A bagsman.
Pierre-Emerick
Gabon's finest.
Spider-Man, of course.
Well, but what I did like when I saw some random newspaper, when you go down like page 7 on Google looking through some random stuff, and you see this like match report from the time, and it was like, and Aubameyang celebrated by putting on a Spider-Man mask and slung his webs towards the away fans. And I was like, slung his webs. I just love that. Yeah. I don't know how else you would describe it. I mean, I suppose it makes sense. Slung his webs. Sprayed or slung, Yeah, so...
For context, we should
slung
say...
your webs all over the place, don't you, Seb?
Yeah. Dirty bastard. Especially back in the day. Not now. Did he getting old again, aren't I? Tommy, enjoy it.
Did he do... I'm trying. I really am trying.
He's trying his best, to be fair.
Did he? I imagine most people listening to this will have seen it, but he used to pull out... I remember at Dortmund. Right?
Yeah, Batman masks he used to pull out at Dortmund as well.
Was that it? Yes.
Dortmund. Yeah.
Various comic book masks from his sock, I think.
Yeah, all sorts.
And when he scored, he put them on his face.
Yeah. What mask would you pull out?
Maybe the mask.
Yes! The mask. Very good. The mask. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat that. Come on, Tommy.
Sort of embodies how I play as well.
Yeah. Do you know what I always like seeing? Is when they do like bank jobs on films and stuff, and they've got like they've got like Richard Nixon masks.
That's
and stuff
what I was going to say.
I mean, obviously a scumbag, but or George Bush or a Tony Blair.
No, you beat me to it.
Yeah,
mine was going to be Nixon.
Nixon, yeah. I suppose that would still be funny, whereas Tony Blair not as funny, even though they're both not funny. But what would be fun? Looking back on it,
maybe neither of those.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest,
in 20 years' time, they'll be pulling out Biden masks, and they still won't be funny either. Nigel Farage, that'd be my mask.
Oh.
Yeah.
With a bullet wound in the centre of his
exactly.
forehead.
Yeah. And I'd wipe my ass with it, a la Ronald Koeman in '98 with the Germany shirt.
Or
anyway,
the opening scene of Joker, where they all put on really terrifying, weird clown masks.
Talking of masks in films, what about when they all wear Eric Cantona masks and looking for Eric?
Amazing.
That's pretty fucking.
But as a footballer, it would be just. It would be a move if you had a If you put on a Cantona mask for celebrating your own goal.
Tommy, make moves when you can, mate, because you'll bloody regret it when you get older.
What are you trying to get through to me?
No, I'm only joking. I'm just feeling my age today. Anyway, that concludes that section. Do.
All right, I'm Charlie Cooper. You might recognise me from BBC Show This Country, but I'm here to tell you how much I love Mundial magazine. For me, it's the fanzine of football, documenting the best of football culture forever. I'm very proud to admit I've been a long-term subscriber of Mundial for years now. But if you subscribe, you don't just get the magazine, right? You get loads of other perks, too many to mention, in fact. So join Club Mundial at mundialmag.com.
Ins and outs. And I can tell you that I was going to WhatsApp Owen and say, send your ins and outs. But this is how busy he's been lately. I thought, no, he deserves a bloody good rest. So ins and outs, if you don't know, is based on the brilliant fanzine The End, mid-80s. And we talk about the things that are in and that are out. And we talk about football things and we talk about non-football things. And as I'm the host, I get to choose whether they're in or out. I'm going to start right from the top, just throw it in there, because my football in for this week is sometimes football writes brilliant scripts. And Fran Kirby scoring the last goal in a 6-0 win in her last game for Chelsea after an illustrious career. I'm relatively new to the Chelsea women's cause because of my daughter. There is an article available online about this if you want to know how the fuck's he got another team. But we were in the away end at Old Trafford and it was genuinely beautiful. And it wasn't like everyone was... Obviously, Chelsea had won 6-0 or were winning 5-0. It wasn't the fact that we'd won the championship and that everyone was really excited. It was like this, to use a youngster's phrase, she got her flowers.
Oh,
she did. And this goal she scored against Mary Earps, the best keeper in the world, she bends it round and she runs over, and you could see when she's been mobbed and the joy of everyone around her that she's got her moment was just beautiful. And you can see when she sort of comes out of the huddle, she is, she's virtually on the verge of tears. And
wow.
Football can be heartbreaking, football can be horrible sometimes, but football can also be fucking great. And that was a great, great moment.
You can see it in the montage, can't you? These are the moments that
Exactly.
football only provides.
Well, but it was lovely to go and watch a game of women's football, 30,000 people, to go and watch in a stadium of that magnitude, because I know people joke about it, and I know that some Chelsea fans were singing Old Trafford is falling down and all this, but it's still one of the great, great football stadiums.
Oh, yeah.
It helped that it was bright sunshine and 20 degrees and I had shorts and t-shirt on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's in, obviously, because I'm in charge. So we've mentioned Old Trafford, we've mentioned Man United. So, Tommy, what's your in?
My in is Bruno Fernandes, which I'm doing whilst Owen is not here, obviously, because I think it would just be out.
He would go for it.
You're that whinging cunt.
Yeah. But what I want to say about Bruno Fernandes, I know it was a while ago when United won the FA Cup, but my main period of going to United, my first ever match was 98-99. And I went to 5 matches or something the treble season. And that was my indoctrination into Man United. So obviously I've seen fucking everyone from David Beckham to Cristiano Ronaldo to Wayne Rooney to Zlatan, etc. But
when you've seen such riches, you can live with being poor.
Well,
the song won't. Or maybe not, because you'll get very angry about it being poor. Anyway, sorry, I cut you off.
That's great, Seb.
I've been a season ticket holder pretty much for since Van Gaal, pretty much.
Yeah. The good times.
The good times. And I just want to say to, a lot of United fans especially, I don't mind other fans hating him because that's part of the course. And you hate your opposition team's best player. But Bruno Fernandes has given me more joy than any United player in the last 10 years. He does what a lot of players do. He runs, he gives it his all. He wrote a brilliant Players Tribune thing.
That was really nice, yeah.
Which is just authentic. And it's not often in this day and age where you get players who you feel like actually love your club and actually want to die for the shirt. And as much he is a moaning cunt sometimes,
He's your moaning cunt.
I love him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play for Portugal at the Euros as well. And I was so happy that he won an FA Cup.
What a team! What a team!
Yeah, he won the FA Cup with one of the great passes as well.
Oh, incredible pass.
It's a great pass.
It's a great pass, great
hell.
goal.
It's a great pass.
Bruno Fernandes, I have to say, because I had a conversation with you not that long ago where I was like, is he worth the effort? And you always said it. You said he is fucking great. You watch him week in, week out. And again, it's very easy for people from the outside to snipe and see the things on social media and see the cuts of him in certain games where the whole team's been shit.
The armchair highlight watches.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you said it, and you said, no, he's fucking brilliant.
He fucking gives it everything.
And he gives it. So
and
do you know what?
He's the one player who every game, because I've heard that some of the players don't like it, that we just sing about legends.
Yeah.
But the only current player that we sing about every single game is Bruno Fernandes.
So
he's the only one who is a legend.
I'm going to put Bruno Fernandes in, definitely. James, what's yours?
My in is the comment section after David Squires' weekly cartoons.
Weekly, brilliant.
So
Unbelievable. I've got a book of those
put
cartoons.
it out there. David Squires' weekly cartoons are absolutely my favourite piece of regular media on the planet.
Yeah.
They're
Not just football media.
Everything. They're clever. Every week, they're clever. There's loads of callbacks in them for people who've been looking at them for years. And they're laugh out loud funny every time.
Yeah.
Now, when I scroll down through that comic strip, I'm so sad to get to the final panel. I want there to be 10 more panels of stuff for me to look at. But then I remember what happens in the comment section. And the comment sections of David Squires' things, you know how comment sections, the one comment and then the replies to that comment, it only takes one person to sort of, to provide the catalyst. And then it's just loads of people doing football puns of players' names. So like, if, I don't know, Poole is mentioned in the strip, it would be like someone will say Hassan Cash Poole, and then someone will say Frank Qued Q.
There's a good
and then
one
someone will reply with Alan Ball.
Now this is good, James, because I'll be honest, I avoid the comment section, even our own at times.
That Henry VIII
like
looks uncannily like Wayne Rooney, King Cole, Jose Sarr, Gus Cesar, Ledley King.
They are.
It's just
That's it. It's just
very silly. It's very silly.
people naming footballers
It's just
and doing puns.
for banter and rapport.
fast
James?
food, is it? Ken Tuchel fried chicken.
James, I did not know about this, and when I saw it, I thought I'm not putting any comment section of anything as an in, because I just like I said, sometimes it's just a cesspit. However, you have shown there's an exception to the rules, so I'm going to put that in.
It's just so silly.
Comment sections in general are probably one of my
Just
favourite
so
things on the internet.
People have said
Someone else's comment section is...
I won't buy anything off him. Look at his teeth, someone said on one of ours recently.
What, me or you?
Yeah, and the reason I'm doing those ads is so I can earn more money to pay for new teeth.
Very good.
Out. Going to be really quick on this. Man United fleecing away fans and charging £5 for the bag drop at Old Trafford, whilst letting home fans take in whatever bloody bag they want.
That's 3 out of 4 ins and outs so far of Manchester United, you red bastards.
No, I'm slagging them off. Anyway, it's going out. We're not going to talk about it. But yeah, the Glazers know what they're fucking doing.
Fuck
now.
those cunts.
Go on, James Bird.
Politicians pretending about football.
Yeah.
Out. Except one thing and one thing only. Gordon Brown, when he talks about Rafe Rovers.
Absolutely great.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's not pretending about
He's not
football.
pretending, yeah. I mean, we don't want to go too much into this because we could be here all day slagging off the...
Yeah.
Rishi trying to go around the cones.
Yeah.
David Cameron getting Villa and West Ham, getting his own team mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
Because they play in the same fucking colours.
God, it's painful.
Yeah, let's keep
And
it
I mean,
positive.
last one, a big shout out to Mary Black.
Yes.
Brilliant Scottish politician.
And
her love for Partick Thistle.
Exactly.
Great.
So there are good ones, but definitely the ones...
Pretending. Don't pretend.
Politicians that pretend about football. Tommy, that's definitely out, obviously. Tommy?
The amount of superstitions I now have in football, both playing and watching,
Oh, dear.
kind of screwing you over. To the point where you'll be late for a match because I have to get a Lucozade and a Mars bar because I've done that since I was 7. To not go into Wembley to watch United win the FA Cup final because I've never seen any of my teams win at Wembley.
Oh, dear.
Can I get rid of the superstitions? I don't think so because I'm 30.
You're still young, Tommy. You've still got plenty of time.
No, I'm not. It's running out. But I'm 34 and I've done these things. You know, I've followed
yeah.
superstitions since I was 6 or 7. Where do they start?
The season
Why do they
ticket holder.
continue? Yeah.
Well, it's exactly. You're talking here.
Yeah.
You missed the cup final because you'd seen 6 games at Wembley and seen the team.
I've
that you
seen
were there for
Shrewsbury, England, and United never win at Wembley.
So you decided not to go
I
to the cup
decided not
final.
to go, and I'm a bit gutted. But I still think, I don't know if this is egotistic of me or just like
No.
butterfly
It's
effect.
being a football fan.
I still think if I went, we would have lost.
Being a football fan, and yeah.
But now I'm like, I just wish I was there.
Superstitions are not out because I think that's what they make football great.
Okay. Cool.
But I understand why you put them out. But
Yes,
I
yeah.
think they're stupid, they're daft, and we've all got them. But I think that's just part of being a football fan.
True.
Non-football ins and outs. I'll start with Michael Head and the Red Elastic Band have got another album out, and of course it's brilliant. Michael Head, if you, for whatever reason, you've never delved into his work, obviously he was with Shaq and Pale Fountains, but Michael Head's solo stuff is fucking incredible, and you should go and support him. Go and see him if you can, but yeah, absolutely brilliant artist.
What kind of music is it? Seb?
It's
Guitars.
Guitar, yeah.
Indie rock.
Indie acoustic ambient melodic. Indie melodic. Indie melodic, I'd say, because he's an incredible. He was once called, I think it was the Enemy or Melody Maker, the greatest songwriter in Britain.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And his songs are unbelievable.
They've not heard of me yet, don't worry.
Not yet. Yeah, this is pre-church party and Tommy Stewart, of course.
Of course.
Belladonna.
Methinks.
So that's in, obviously. Tommy Stewart, come on, you're in. Non-football in.
Night Cortez. I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld again recently.
Yeah.
George Costanza's always got them on.
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar wears them. Adidas Sambas had a big summer last year, but I think Rishi Sunak has ended them. So I'm saying, let's get the Cortez back on. I'm not wearing them today, but I am going to...
Well, I'm going to give the majority because I think that I don't like them. I've never liked them.
Really?
No, I've never liked them. But
What about
I'm
you,
going to go with the
James?
majority.
They don't really suit your feet,
No,
do
they
they?
look like,
true.
they're a bit like bowling shoes, aren't they? I'm like, you can imagine me
Climb,
walking.
man.
Yeah. So I don't like them, but I'm willing to accept that they are good.
Okay.
And anything that gets the Adidas Sunaks out of the picture of the
fucking
better.
hell.
Although I'm a massive fan of Adidas. I just think those particular trainer you can't wear them anymore. Anyway,
my basic point is Cortez greater than Samba.
yeah. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. I'll put that in.
They're a great silhouette. A
James
classic silhouette. One of the best silhouettes.
Bird. I'm looking forward to this.
Am I?
Baps in pubs,
Yeah.
cobs, baps, rolls, whatever you want to call them.
Ed is enthusiastically nodding.
When well, I was in the countryside recently in a very lovely part of Gloucestershire
Gloucester.
to visit some friends. We actually went to watch the cheese rolling competition.
Okay, tell us in 60 seconds what that was like, because we've seen the videos, we've seen the memes.
Okay, so we parked about an hour walk away
Yeah.
from the hill, which is a little bit too far for me carrying my 2.5-year-old daughter
a
the
long
whole way,
Oh,
but
God.
that was okay. So
Yeah.
traipse through beautiful Gloucestershire countryside. Get there. My friend is from Stroud, so she's been to it for her whole life.
Yeah.
The type of traditional spectacle that I think is always, it's very grounding to go to, because you realise that different parts of the country, different parts of the world all have their traditions, and it's enjoyable to embrace social situations.
Yeah. And doesn't happen anymore because of woke.
Yeah, because of what, exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Just to clarify,
Whoa.
I'm using that as a joke. I'm not. Yes,
It's
I
a
don't
joke.
believe
It's a
everything's
long-running
woke.
joke.
A
Long-running
woke
joke.
joke.
You have
A woke
to do this
joke.
thing.
Anyway,
nowadays 'cause of woke.
so the hill is steeper than you could ever imagine a hill to be. It's not really a hill; it's a cliff face.
People break legs and stuff, don't they? doing
necks, legs,
Yeah.
the speed at which the giant baby bell
Yeah.
pegs it down.
And
the
for those
hill.
who don't know, the aim is to catch the baby.
But the aim is to get to the bottom of the hill.
But no one
first.
ever does.
No, you can't catch cheese.
It's
Far
impossible.
too fast.
No.
But
The fastest
there
cheese you can
was a great chant just beforehand of cheese.
Brilliant.
Cheese. And now Cecilia, my daughter, has just randomly just started going, looking at me, just going, cheese.
Cecilia.
Anyway,
So
went to lots of lovely pubs.
that's definitely in as well, by the way. We'll put that
Cheese
in.
rolling was great.
Yeah.
Lovely countryside pubs, lovely keg beer, fireplaces, places that have been unspoilt by the gentrification of pubs.
Yeah.
Yet the food is still extremely expensive because you're not always, when you go to a pub, you're not always looking to go for a meal out. You're looking to spend a couple of hours with friends, and that might cross over a mealtime. And you might want to have something little to eat. And that little thing to eat should always be a £1 or £2 cheese roll, ham roll, wrapped in cling film that you can buy that doesn't empty your wallet, just tides you over until
Keeps
you
you
get
going.
to the end.
Love
Keeps
it.
you going.
Well, I
You
love
don't have to
finding
spend
one on
15 quid.
I don't want to spend £19
exactly.
on fish and chips.
Baps in pubs.
Baps in pubs.
I'll be honest, I thought it was different type of baps. Pound it.
I mean, those
I thought it
two,
was
but-
pounds in pint pots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's fine. We can move on from that. Anyway, outs. We got to wrap this up. Out. He's not here this week, but so I'm going to say it because I think he'd probably just leather me if I'd said it when he was here.
This would be bad if I
yeah,
was
I'm going to put Pink Noise out because it did sound.
He's going to hate this
It
episode
did sound
so much.
fucking brilliant, Owen. I have to say, you sold it so
Outline
well.
what pink noise is for people who didn't listen
Yeah,
to that.
Pink Noise. So I've been put Pink Noise in recently as an in. It sounded brilliant. He described it brilliantly. It's a different types of frequencies that you just listen. It's white noise-ish, but a nicer frequency and should help you fall asleep. It did the opposite to me. It kept me awake. And then even when I did finally get to sleep, I had the freakiest nightmare I've ever had almost, which involved me being tortured while listening to Pink Noise.
Oh, my God.
It was, yeah. Maybe the fluoxetine isn't quite working at the moment, but we can get. Maybe it was that, but
Call me mad, but I'm
yeah.
slightly surprised that the thing that sends Owen Blackhurst to sleep is different to the thing that sends Seb White to sleep.
yeah. So maybe I'll just go back to watching Eurogoals reruns.
No way.
Yeah. So that's out.
Get
I'm in
Old Test
charge.
Match special broadcasts on, I'm telling you.
Just quickly, James, because we've heard about this a lot. Just very quickly, just tell us yours out, and I'll
The cat's got fleas.
and it's caused right mischief.
Oh, it's 3 weeks now.
3 weeks. You've
3
had bombs
weeks.
in there, and
Treatment, bombs, sprays, Hoover,
Fucking
mops.
hell.
I'm putting these out because I feel for you, James.
It doesn't pose a problem to humans, really. It just makes you feel a little bit dirty.
Yeah.
And I know why it is. It's because she's been hanging out with the fox. The cat hangs out with the fox
Yeah.
outside all the time.
Just chilling with a fox.
And I don't want to
The
stop
fox and the cat is in Tottenham.
in Hackney.
Hackney. The fox and the cat in Tottenham.
I don't want to stop them from hanging out because they clearly get on really very
Yeah,
well. And
they're
they're,
just chilling.
different species, but they get on well.
I'm a huge fox person. Huge fox.
Are you?
Yeah, I love foxes. We got loads of them around near us because we got a big green area, and they all live in there, and they come out and find all the food and scraps at night. I love them.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite fox? Crack Fox?
Sam Fox.
Basil Brown?
It's obviously
Sorry, not Sam. It's obviously Lauren.
Yeah. Tommy, you're going to round this off.
I'm really trying to find the picture that's relevant to it, but I think everyone knows the one. It's basically the continued respawning of the worst era of fashion, which is that sort of mid-2000s. The best summation of it is that picture of, John O'Shea, Wayne Rooney, Paul Scholes, Rio Ferdinand in their sort of boot cups with their brown
Diesel
shoes.
jeans that have got dye on somewhere.
So I thought this would be back just for I was going to some art exhibitions and stuff last year.
Oh,
You thought the
yeah.
No, this is last year.
nice.
You thought it was
Last
just the
year.
hipsters.
I thought it was just the hipsters for a bit.
Yeah.
It's continued.
I know.
It's getting stronger.
Yeah.
People who were alive at that time who had to endure wearing those clothes, like I'm assuming you guys, like me. Come on. You're based London.
Bench.
You bench.
But I had base London
Fucking
the first
hell.
time around.
I saw someone.
Fire trap. Wore quite a lot of fire trap.
I saw all.
Duck and cover.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm surprised how long this is going for.
Yeah.
And I just thought this is an era of fashion that would never ever rear its ugly head
This is
again.
the thing about
It's gone too far.
nostalgia.
Yeah.
Nostalgia. We get swept up in these things.
It's gone too far.
Yeah, I mean it's out. It's out, obviously. But
That's just reminded me very much, maybe to end,
Go
of a line in Fawlty Towers, which is actually about
What a
depression.
great way to end.
Actually about depression, but I'll change it to nostalgia. It's when Basil Fawlty's in the kitchen and he's trying to put on a bet, and Sybil won't let him.
Yeah.
And he's really sad about it. And Sybil comes in and he's, "What are you sad for?" And then anyway, he talks to Manuel, and he says, "Manuel, nostalgia is like a virus. You let it in, and then it takes over your body, and then one day, and then Sybil butts in and and then you open a hotel."
Brilliant. We're going to round it off with that. What a lovely episode. I enjoyed doing that. The numbers keep increasing.
Yes.
The listener numbers. We can see.
Not enough.
We can
so if
see.
you could tell
not
your
quite
friends to
enough.
listen to it.
Just keep passing the word.
Yeah.
But the reviews. Oh my God, the reviews. They've dropped like a bloody stone.
And Trafalgar Square. Do you remember that? There was, 100,000 there?
Yeah. Where are these reviews? So we're going to have to start asking again. Please, 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 if you've enjoyed this, even if you've mildly enjoyed it, even if you thought 3 out of 5, it's still a review. You could change it to 5 and then say it in the comments. That might be a nice thing to do. But please, leave a review. Please, we really do. It does really make a difference. I'm not just saying it.
Maybe I'll leave one.
James should.
You've not done that yet.
I actually haven't left a review on my own podcast. There you are.
No,
I'm worse than Farage. If you are listening to this on the day of release or around the day of release on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we are going to be at Hotel MUNDIAL from the 14th to the 20th of June. Please come down. At some point, one of us will definitely be there. Maybe 2 of us will be there. Maybe we'll all be there. We might even be doing
we'll be there, Seb.
I'll be there. I haven't even sorted a place to stay that, so I will be living
Tommy's
there.
sleeping in the. Why don't we stay there? No. Anyway, moving on. Hotel MUNDIAL will be on. Please come down. Tell your mates. Sign up for tickets at mundialmag.com/tickets.
And happy birthday to me.
Very much. Final.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there. It's going to be terrific. Gordo's going to be there. It's going to be so good.
And
happy birthday to me. The best present of all time. The 45th and the 47th.
That has been reminding you why I love football. Please review. Please come to Hotel MUNDIAL. We love you all and thanks for the support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reminding You Why You Love Football is a Mundial and Football co-production. Produced by Tommy Stewart and Seb White, hosted by me, Owen Blackhurst, and recorded on the run.